All right, so we're diving into the world of enterprise development workers.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
it's a mouthful, I know.
it is.
But trust me, the work itself is even more interesting than the title.
I think so.
What exactly are we unpacking today with this career path?
Well, imagine a company tackling issues like environmental sustainability
Well,
or closing the digital divide.
uh-huh.
And they're doing it while making sure their own employees are happy and fulfilled.
Right.
That's the kind of sweet spot an enterprise development worker aims for.
So they're like the bridge between a company's desire to do good and actually making it happen in a sustainable way.
Exactly. It's about embedding social impact into the DNA of a business,
Okay.
not just as a side project.
Yeah.
They might help a tech company design an ethical AI policy,
Yeah.
or guide a manufacturing giant towards carbon neutrality,
Right.
all while ensuring fair wages and work-life balance for employees.
Wow. That's a lot more hands-on than I initially pictured.
Yeah,
I was thinking more along the lines of planning charity events,
right.
but this sounds like shaping the entire company culture.
It can be.
Does that mean most enterprise development workers are stuck in an office, though?
Actually, that's where it gets really dynamic.
Okay.
One day, you might be analyzing data to measure the impact of a new initiative,
Okay.
and then next, you're out in the community talking to people impacted by that work.
Oh, wow.
We're even seeing a rise in remote positions,
That's cool.
allowing for more flexibility in where and how this work gets done.
That's fascinating. It's like they need the analytical skills to crunch the numbers,
Uh-huh.
but also that human touch to connect with real people.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, what kind of person thrives in this kind of role?
You hit the nail on the head. It's about balance.
Okay.
You need someone who can build relationships with diverse groups,
Okay.
whether it's community leaders,
Right.
CEOs, or frontline employees.
Okay, so top-notch people skills are a must-have,
Definitely.
but it can't just be about being good with people, right?
Yeah.
There has to be a strategic brain in there somewhere, too.
Absolutely. You're not just there to boost morale.
Yeah.
These are analytical thinkers who can dissect the social problem,
Uh-huh.
identify the root causes,
Okay.
and come up with innovative solutions.
So they're problem solvers, too?
Yeah, could you say that
Okay.
they might be developing training programs,
Yeah.
evaluating the effectiveness of current initiatives,
Mm-hmm.
or even creating new policies to address emerging challenges.
So it's a fascinating blend of social awareness, strategic thinking.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Well, it almost feels like I'm forgetting a crucial ingredient in this mix.
With technology constantly evolving, being tech-savvy is becoming increasingly important.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
You're right. It's like they need to speak the language of both spreadsheets and social media,
exactly.
which is a pretty unique skill set.
And it's only going to become more important as technology continues to shape how we address social and environmental issues.
That's true.
For example, think about a company trying to reduce its carbon footprint.
Okay.
An enterprise development worker might utilize software to analyze supply chain data, identify areas for improvement,
Right.
and then use online platforms to collaborate with suppliers on more sustainable practices.
So it's not just about understanding the human side of things,
Right.
but also being comfortable with the tools that can amplify your impact.
Yeah,
That's fascinating.
it is.
So we've established that this role is dynamic, impactful,
Yeah.
and requires a unique blend of skills. But what does the career progression look like?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
While some people move up the ranks within a company,
Mm-hmm.
others find themselves drawn to the entrepreneurial side of things.
Right.
They might leverage their experience to launch a social enterprise,
Right.
tackling an issue they're passionate about head on.
Yeah.
Or they could become consultants,
Mhm.
guiding multiple companies on their social impact journeys.
It's like they have this incredible springboard for launching their own ventures
Yeah.
or becoming sought-after advisors.
Yeah,
That entrepreneurial spirit must be a common thread among these folks.
absolutely. They're often driven by a deep sense of purpose
Okay.
and a desire to create lasting change.
Yeah.
But even within established companies, there's a lot of room for growth.
Uh-huh.
Imagine leading a team focused on diversity and inclusion,
Right.
or spearheading a company-wide sustainability initiative.
So whether it's climbing the corporate ladder, branching out on their own, or becoming an in-house expert,
Right.
the possibilities seem pretty expansive.
Exactly. And what's crucial for all these paths is a commitment to lifelong learning.
Yeah.
The field is constantly evolving, with new challenges and opportunities emerging all the time.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
You can't exactly rest on your laurels when you're trying to stay ahead of the curve on social and environmental issues.
that's true.
So how do they keep their fingers on the pulse, so to speak?
It's a mix of formal and informal learning,
Okay.
attending industry conferences,
Right.
pursuing advanced degrees or certifications,
Yeah.
even just regularly reading articles and reports. It all plays a role in staying sharp.
Speaking of staying sharp, I have to imagine interviewing for a role like this is a bit different than your average job interview. What advice would you give to someone who's landed an interview for an enterprise development worker position?
Preparation is key, of course.
Of course.
But it's not just about reciting your resume. Interviewers want to see that you're genuinely passionate about social impact
Okay.
and that you understand how it intersects with the business world.
So it's not enough to just talk about wanting to make a difference.
Right.
You need to demonstrate that you understand the complexities of achieving that within a company's structure and goals.
Precisely.
Okay.
For example, let's say you're interviewing with a fashion brand that's trying to improve its environmental practices.
Okay.
You wouldn't just say, I'm passionate about sustainability.
Right.
You'd want to talk about specific initiatives you'd suggest,
Okay.
like exploring sustainable materials or reducing waste throughout their supply chain.
Uh-huh.
Show them you've done your research and have actionable ideas.
That's such a good point.
Yeah,
It's about connecting your passion with tangible solutions that align with the company's values and objectives.
exactly.
And that's where a resource like RoleCatcher can really come in handy, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher offers a treasure trove of resources specifically for acing these kinds of interviews.
Okay.
Imagine having a database of real interview questions asked by companies looking for enterprise development workers.
That sounds incredibly helpful.
It is.
I remember always feeling like I was going into interviews blind,
Right.
just hoping I could come up with something intelligent on the spot.
With RoleCatcher, you can actually practice answering those tough questions beforehand.
Oh, wow.
Plus, they have this AI-powered tool that analyzes job descriptions
Okay.
and predicts potential interview questions based on the specific role. It's like having a crystal ball for your interview.
Okay, now that's just cool.
That's pretty neat.
So not only can you practice your answers,
Right.
but you can tailor those answers to the specific company and position you're interviewing for.
Exactly.
Wow.
And it doesn't stop there.
Okay.
They even have an AI that can analyze your practice videos
What?
and provide feedback on everything from your clarity to your body language.
Really?
It's like having a personal interview coach right at your fingertips.
That's incredible. It's like they've taken all the guesswork and anxiety out of the interview process.
They really try to.
But even with the best preparation, what are some of the qualities that interviewers are really looking for beyond just the right answers?
Well, remember how we talked about enterprise development workers being great communicators and collaborators?
Right, those essential people skills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They want to see that you can articulate your ideas effectively,
Okay.
build rapport with different personalities,
Uh-huh.
and navigate potentially challenging conversation.
Right.
Remember, you're often the bridge between different departments, stakeholders,
Sure.
and even entire communities.
So it's not just about being the social impact guru.
Right.
It's about being able to bring people together and get them on board with your vision.
Yes.
And that takes a special kind of person.
it does.
Someone who can inspire, negotiate,
Uh-huh.
and maybe even mediate when needed.
Absolutely.
This has been incredibly insightful.
Oh, good.
I'm curious, though,
Yeah.
is there anything someone can do even before applying for jobs to get a feel for this line of work?
Absolutely. And it's surprisingly simple. Think local.
Think local.
Yeah. Chances are there are social enterprises or community initiatives doing amazing work right in your own backyard.
So instead of just reading about it,
Yeah.
you're saying get out there and experience it firsthand.
Precisely.
Oh,
Volunteering, attending events,
right.
or even just having coffee with someone working in the field can provide invaluable insights.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You'll see the passion and dedication up close
Yeah.
and gain real-world context for all those concepts we've been discussing.
And who knows?
Yeah.
You might even make some valuable connections along the way. Networking is never a bad thing, right?
Never a bad thing.
This deep dive has been eye-opening. I feel like I've gained a whole new perspective on what it means to create positive change within a company.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we're moving beyond just talking about corporate social responsibility and actually embedding it into the core of how businesses operate.
Exactly. And that shift requires a new breed of professionals.
Okay.
Those who can bridge the gap between social impact, and business strategy,
Right.
which is where our enterprise development workers come in.
They're the architects, the builders, and the champions of a more sustainable and equitable future for businesses.
You like that?
It's inspiring to know that these roles exist
Yeah,
and that more and more companies are recognizing their value.
absolutely. They are the change makers,
Yeah.
and they are in high demand.
This has been an incredible journey into the world of the enterprise development worker. We've covered the skills, the career paths, the interview tips, and even how to connect with this work on a personal level. What a fantastic deep dive. Any final thoughts to leave our listeners with as they continue exploring this path?
As you encounter companies and organizations doing this work,
Okay.
ask yourself,
Yeah.
what are their motivations? Are they truly walking the talk?
Mm-hmm.
What impact are they having on their employees, their communities, and the world around them? Those questions will lead you down a fascinating path of discovery.
And who knows, they might just spark a passion that leads to a fulfilling and impactful career in enterprise development. That's a wrap on this deep dive. We hope you've enjoyed this exploration as much as we have. Until next time.